Evening, ladies. I'm not hearing any audio, but then I've got a new system here. I'm working from headphones instead of speakers. Could somebody give me a report, please, CK5YL? Thanks very much for your report, Lauren. I'm not used to having headphones and speaking into a separate microphone, so I'm not sure how it's coming through. So that's great that your report is okay. Sorry I'm a bit late, but the audio section was not working on this computer, and I've been out in the shed with my OM. Nice to see you all there, and it's great to see that you're all still here on a Friday. My Fridays are busy usually, but the third and fourth Friday of the month I'm usually okay. So I'll give it back to whoever's in control there. This is VK5YL.
This is WA4YL. Is it the YL net on now? AC4YL here. Good evening, ladies. Apologize for the delay. Stuck in a little bit of wonderful traffic. And if you've ever been to Atlanta, you know that traffic is a major pain in the rear. Anyway, good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome everyone to the YL OpNet. This is Catherine, AC4YL Net Control for this evening's net. We meet every Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. or somewhere near there, Eastern Time, on the Echolink ALARA Conference node. Be sure to invite all YLs you know to join us. We do ask that only YLs or licensed young lady ham radio operators check in and participate. The purpose of this net is to encourage you to become and stay active with amateur radio, help each other improve our operating knowledge and skills, and have fun. For more ham fun between weekly nets, check out the YLOPNet Facebook group. During the net, be sure to join us in the NFARL Do Drop In chat room by opening any web browser and going to nfarl.dodropin.org. Just put your name -- call sign in the box and click Login. Why else would like to check in, give us your call sign, name, and current location. And please don't forget that there is a 3 to 4 second delay when transmitting through Echolink. This is Catherine, AC4YL. We will now begin taking check-ins. Please call now.
This is Shirley, VK5YL in Adelaide, South Australia.
N0DD, Rita, Colorado.
K7SKY, Sky and Gardner, Washington. K2EZ, Andrea, New Jersey. AE7MB, Margaret, Battleground, Washington.
Still got a sore throat.
W5MQC, Michelle, Oklahoma.
Victor Alpha 3, Whiskey Hotel Uniform, Carroll, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada.
Whiskey 3, Lima Echo Oscar, Oklahoma.
Whiskey Alpha 4, Yankee Lima, Dawn in Hudson, Florida.
Okay, awesome. Let's start with who we have so far. We have Lauren, KC9, ZHV, Illinois, Shirley, VK5YL, Adelaide, South Australia, Rita, NE0DB, joining us from Colorado, Sky, KA7SKY, joining us from Washington, Andrea, K2EZ, joining us from New Jersey this evening, Margaret, AE7MB, checking in from Washington, Nisi, KA1ULN, joining us from Massachusetts, and hope your throat gets better there, Nisi. Michelle, W5MQC, joining us from Oklahoma. Carol, VA3WHU, joining us from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Good evening, Carol. Leah, W3LEO, checking in from Oklahoma, and Dawn, WA4YL, joining us from Florida. Okay, let's see if we have any other YLs who would like to check in. Please call now.
KA1YL, Connie, in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. Brenda, KC1EL.
KA1YL, Connie, in Bridgewater, Massachusetts.
Brenda, KC1EL, New Haven, Connecticut.
Kilo 4 Sierra Alpha Foxtrot, Carrollyn, Kentucky.
W1AYL, Ann in New Hampshire.
Okay, fantastic. So going back here, we have Connie, KA1YL, joining us from Massachusetts. Brenda, KC1EEO, joining us from Connecticut this evening. Chrissy, KC8UFV, got you in the log, Chrissy, and I'm going to guess you're in Ohio right now. Don't have any audio on you, but did see you key up a couple of times. So we got you in the log, and glad you're here with us, and hopefully you can hear us okay. Carol, K4SAF, joining us from Kentucky. And Ann, W1AYL, joining us from New Hampshire. Okay, let's do one last quick call, and then we'll continue on with the net. If you'd like to check in and you're a YL, please call now.
Sierra Golf Bravo, Brenda in Michigan.
Okay, and we have Brenda, KD8SGB, joining us from Michigan this evening. I think we have a few others. It looks like Ann is here. I'm going to guess she's using Tony's call. Good evening, Ann. If you can, cleaning up squash you baked. Hopefully out of the pan and not elsewhere. Just kidding. So very good, Ann. We'll catch up with you then in a little while. Okay, very good. Brenda, KD8SGB, joining us from Michigan as well. So nice group this evening. Okay, and I'm sure we'll probably have some more join us, and that's great. What a nice, well-rounded group. So I think everybody is getting ready for next week and Thanksgiving holiday, and I'm sure that people are gathering ingredients and planning their meals or making their travel plans and all that fun stuff. So we'll give you gals an opportunity to talk a little bit about that if you like in just a bit. But what I'd like to do first is there's a very cool contest coming up this weekend, and it's the ARRL November Sweepstakes, and we talked briefly about it last week. But I thought we'd go into a little more detail this week about what it is and what the exchange is and a little bit about how it works. So first off, let me see if I can get this link going for you gals here and make sure we have it in the Echolink chat. I do not have the Dewdrop In chat up, so if somebody can copy and paste that over there, that would be awesome. So this is the website for ARRL November Sweepstakes, and it's the single sideband. There is a CW version as well of the contest, and CW is always the first full weekend in November, so it has come and gone. And the phone or single sideband is always the third full weekend in November, which is this upcoming weekend. Let me pause for a reset. Okay, so as we've discussed in the past with contests, there's a goal. There's always a goal to every contest, or your challenge, or your objective is usually what it's called, your objective. And so for this contest, it's for stations in the U.S. and Canada, including territories and possessions, to exchange QSO information with as many other U.S. and Canadian stations as possible. The bands that are covered are 160, 80, 40, 20, 15, and 10. So you've got several bands to play with, so if you have an antenna that only works on one band, more than likely it's one of those. So that's the band you rock on and try to work as many contacts as you can. The contest period starts at 2100 UTC on Saturday and runs through 0259 UTC on Monday. So you've got a good amount of time to participate in the contest, and encourage you to do so. It's a whole lot of fun. There's a lot of people on, and we'll go into what the exchange is in just a moment. Okay, so let me just pull this up here. Of course, the first thing you'll want to take a look at is you want to review the rules, and this site gives a nice basic overview and also has a link to a PDF document with additional info, all the rules spelled out and all the details you could ever possibly need about this contest in there, through that link that is posted in the chat there. So again, we talked about the contest objective and when the contest is this upcoming weekend. And there are several entry categories. You can participate as a single operator, which means you're operating by yourself. You can either operate QRP single operator, which is 5 watts or less, low power, which in this contest is 150 watts or less, or single operator high power, which is 1500 watts or less. So if you're really between 150 and 1500 watts, then you're a high power, and if you're operating alone, you're a single operator. Now with a single operator category, no matter what power level you're running at, you're not allowed to use spotting assistance. So that's kind of the rule of thumb there. If you want to use spotting assistance, such as a spotting network, such as DX Heat, DX Watch, DX Summit, any of those spotting networks, then you would actually put your entry in under single operator unlimited. And for that category, there's only a low power and high power, but you can use spotting assistance as a single operator. You have to submit your log as a single operator unlimited category. The next one is a multi-operator. So if you and a friend, or you and your significant other or OM or whoever you get together with want to operate, and you're using one transmitter, then your category is a multi-operator, a single transmitter. Now it's based on the first 24 hours of operating time, so if you operate longer, the remainder of your contacts don't count towards your score. Let me pause for reset. Now as a multi-operator single transmitter, you have a low power and high power, and the power limits are the same. 150 or less for low power, 1500 watts or less down to 150 is considered high power. In a multi-operator single transmitter category, you are allowed to use spotting assistance, so that's kind of a nice advantage to that. You can only have one transmitted signal on the air at any given time. So that's the rule of thumb for multi-operator. There is no multi-operator two-transmitter or multi-transmitter category. So you are limited, even when you have multiple operators using the same radio, to one transmitted signal on the air at a time. And the last category is the school club, which is kind of cool. And schools do play this contest. So you might have some fun and run into some schools on the air. There are 3 divisions to this category: college and universities, technical schools, and secondary and other schools. And they compete as their own category, which is kind of cool. So that's a fun category that they throw in for this contest. Okay, so far we've covered the contest objective, the date and time when the contest occurs, and the various entry categories that you can submit your log under. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the exchange. And this contest, it sounds a little complicated, and that's where I would really encourage you to use a logging program that has a specific log for this contest. In 3FJP, for example, I'm not sure, but I'm probably fairly certain that N1MM most likely has a specific log for this contest as well, and I'm sure there are several others. But I would encourage you to have a logging program that will help you, as it will only have the blocks for the exchange information required for the contest. Makes it a lot less confusing when you can just see exactly what you need to ask and what your information is right there at the bottom when you transmit. So the contest exchange consists of your call sign, which you must give your call sign, and the station you are working must give you their call sign over the air as part of the exchange. A consecutive serial number, and a serial number is just what number contact are you on. So if Melanie is my 3rd contact for this contest, and then the serial number I would give her is 3 or 003. Now in this contest there's also what's called a precedence, and this goes back to the entry categories we just talked about. So there are several different ones. You don't have to know all of them, just know the one you are. So if you're again operating single op QRP, it's Q. That's your precedence. If you're single op low power, it's A. If single op high power, it's B. Now again, remember, the single op high and low power cannot use spotting assistance. If you're using spotting assistance, then you fall under the single op unlimited. High power and low power both use the same precedence, and that is U as in uniform. Multi-op, high power and low power both use the letter M, Mike, for their precedence, and school clubs are S. So it's fairly simple. Let me pause for a reset. Okay, so far, as part of your exchange, you have your call sign, consecutive serial number, and your precedence, which is what entry category are you operating in for this contest. The next piece of the exchange is what's called a check. The check is the last 2 digits of the year you were first licensed. So if you first got your license in 2013, your check is 13 or 13. So that's what the word check is, and you probably see that in, like if you're helping in Rookie Roundup, check is one that's given there as part of the exchange as well. And then the last piece that's part of the exchange is your ARRL or RAC section. RAC for Canadian stations, and your ARRL section for U.S. territories. So that's the exchange, and we'll give you an example in just a second. Okay, sometimes I think it takes a lot longer to explain it than it does to actually do it. Isn't that the way it goes? So here's an exchange example, excuse me. If you have NU1AW, November Uniform 1 Alpha Whiskey is playing in the contest, and they're going to exchange with W1AW. So W1AW gives their exchange is W1AW 123 B and then NU1AW71CT. So the QSO number, of course the call sign is W1AW. For them, the QSO number is 123. They're operating under the B entry category, which is single operator high power. And NU1AW license, that's who they're working. And the station in this case, call sign, was first given that call sign in 71, and then the state is Connecticut. So the QSO number is 123. The B is for single op high power. They're working in NU1AW, first licensed in 1971, and they're in the Connecticut section. So I'm also going to copy and paste the link for the rules, because I think it will make it much easier to follow, most likely, than my explanation of it. But it's a great contest, and very a lot of people participate. It's a very popular contest. Probably one of the more fun contests to operate in. And my personal recommendation in any contest is to, if you're new to contesting, is first of all, just relax and listen. Turn the radio on and find operators that are participating in the contest, and just turn it on, turn it up, and listen to the exchanges. And you'll start picking out which pieces of the exchange represent what when they're stated. And it helps you kind of pick up the rhythm. And again, that's where your electronic logging system will really help you keep up with exactly what exchange information is required. There's several pieces to the scoring. I'm not going to go into the score. You can actually look at that in the PDF file with the rules there. So I encourage you to take a look at that. It's a nice breakdown of everything right there. You want to work each station only once, regardless of which band. There are awards or certificates to the top operator CW and phone scores in each category, in each ARRL and RAC section and division. There's also overall divisional and divisional winners. They're awarded a plaque recognizing their efforts. And plaques are either sponsored by groups of clubs or by the principal award sponsor ICOM. Please keep in mind, if you do participate in the contest, remember to submit your logs. You have 5 days after the end of the contest to submit your logs. You can submit them via the web or postmarked. You can mail them, but you want to make sure that you get it in on time. Okay, so I guess what we'll do is open it up to the group real quick and see if anybody has any questions on how this contest works, or if anybody has additional tips or information or something I missed or may not have said right, or any comments about it. Please go ahead and jump on in, AC4YL.
AG4YL.
Please go ahead, Melanie.
Good evening, ladies. Good evening, Catherine. I thought it might be interesting if we just did an exchange between you and I as kind of a quick demo of a typical exchange on this contest. And I thought maybe for purposes of this would be the first exchange, so our serials would be 1. Are you game? Is that a cool idea?
Well, sure, if you can give me just a minute, because it actually really helps. I have a really strong dependence on the logging program to keep up with the exchange myself, and so give me just a second to throw it on my computer here. It's already downloading and installing, so give me just a second here, and I'll see if I can get it running here, so bear with me just a second.
Okay, so while I love the logging program as well, I just wrote it down here on a piece of paper. The first part is the serial. The second part, since we're transmitting less than 150 watts, we'll go with A as our precedence, call sign. The year we're first licensed, for me it's 14, and our ALARA section, which would be Georgia, Golf Alpha. So I think yours would be the serial. You would also be A, your call. You would be 13, I believe. You were first licensed in 13, and Georgia for you as well. And I'll give you a second standby, and I'm going to kill a bug. I'll be right back.
Okay, very good. I do have my logging program up. Turns out I actually already had the version from last year installed, so what do you know? That really makes it much easier. Very good. Whenever you're ready, Mel, we'll go ahead and give the gals an example.
Okay, well now I can't find the little sucker. Anyway, so and the logging program has changed. I put the link for that up there as well. The logging version changed from last year to this, but it doesn't matter because I think most of the information is the same, but he has updated it. So, and ladies, we're talking about the N3FJP logging program for the November sweeps. I put the link up there, and I'll be putting all this on the While OpNet Facebook page. If you're not already a member, as long as if you're on here, you're licensed, listening, well, of course, you're coming in third party, and press becoming a member, do a search on Facebook for While OpNet, and it will come up. There's also a link on Catherine's. There's also a link on Catherine's QRZ page for it, so that'll make it really easy too. And hopefully, if you're not already on, then you'll become a member. Sorry, I found the bug. Okay, so anyway, so I guess we'll start with what I'll do is I'll simply I'll start calling CQ as if I were running a frequency, and we're going to assume Catherine is doing a hunt and pounce. So I'm going to be choosing a frequency and deciding I'm going to run it, which means I'm going to sit on a frequency. I'm going to wait for others to come and find me. So I would begin by CQ contest. CQ contest. This is Alpha Golf 4 Yankee Lima calling CQ contest. CQ sweeps.
Alpha Charlie 4 Yankee Lima.
Alpha Charlie 4 Yankee Lima. You are 1. Please copy 1 Alpha. Alpha Golf 4 Yankee Lima 1-4 Georgia. QSL.
Alpha Golf 4 Yankee Lima. Please copy 001 Alpha. Alpha Charlie 4 Yankee Lima 13 Georgia. QSL.
QSL, thank you. And 7333 Alpha Golf 4 Yankee Lima QRZ.
Would anybody else like to work Melanie?
Whiskey Alpha 4 Yankee Lima. Doing in Florida. Go ahead, Melanie.
Whiskey Alpha 4 Yankee Lima, please copy 002 Alpha, Alpha Golf 4 Yankee Lima, 14 Georgia, QSL.
QSL, please copy Whiskey Alpha 4 Yankee Lima, 10, Florida.
Thank you. What is my serial number, please, and your operating, how many watts are you operating?
100 watts, and I'm not sure of the serial number. You're my first serial. You're 01.
QSL. Okay, so in the sweeps we exchange our serial number, which if I'm your first, then you're correct. My serial would be 001. And because you're operating at 100 watts, you would be considered an alpha, an A or alpha precedence. And that's all we needed from you. I thank you very much for the exchange. Have fun in the contest. 73 and 33. Whiskey Alpha 4, Yankee Lima, Alpha Golf 4, Yankee Lima, 33. Alpha Golf 4, Yankee Lima, QRZ. Kilo 2 Echo Zulu. Kilo 2 Echo Zulu. Please copy 3 Alpha. Alpha Golf 4 Yankee Lima, 14 Georgia, QSL. QSL, copy 1754 Alpha, 80 Northern New Jersey, QSL. QSL, may I have your call sign again for the exchange, please? Okay, didn't think you needed that since I answered with my call. Kilo 2 Echo Zulu. QSL, thank you very much for the contact. I do appreciate it, and have fun in the contest. 73 and 33. This is Alpha Golf 4 Yankee Lima, QRZ. So I think we've done a few examples there. I hope this helped everybody kind of understand about this contest and what it was about and how it worked. The exchange, Andrea's question about the call, and of course Dawn's question about some of the numbers in the serials are great examples. Anybody can get on a contest, even if you're not exactly certain. There'll always be a ham that will come back and help explain to you what it is or what the exchange is. But to answer your question, yes, Andrea, part of the actual exchange, according to the sweepstakes rules here, as I'm reading it here, is specifically serial, precedence, call, year for check, which is the year your first license or the station was first licensed, and your ARRL or RIC section. So there you go. I hope that kind of helped for people feeling it out, how a contest exchange would go. And what I was doing was I was running a frequency where I just sat on one frequency and people came and called me. And where the people that were calling me, Andrea and Dawn and Catherine, were doing a hunt and pounce. You just go up and down the dial and you listen for people calling CQ contest or CQ sweeps, and go ahead and play some radio. So I hope that helped, and everybody can get in there and play. It's a lot of fun, and I got excited just pretending. It was really fun. So there you go, ladies. I'm going to pass this back over to Catherine and Annette, AAC4YL and Annette, AG4YL.
Okay, well, thanks, ladies. Appreciate it. And yes, I think Andrea and Dawn were great in helping bring some good examples. Dawn, not really sure about the serial number, which is great because you run into people all the time that will come back to you and they're not sure completely about how the rules of the contest or the exchange work. And some of them will ask you. So that was an excellent example. And then Andrea, you know, was a great example too of somebody that's made several cues. She gave over 1,000 for her serial number. So obviously she's been working the contest for a while, right? So some excellent examples, ladies. Thank you so much, Melanie, for that, and everybody, Andrea and Dawn. So hopefully that helped everyone. If you've never participated in this contest, encourage you to do so. Again, the website and the PDF document will explain everything you need to know. And then if you're like me, you learn better by actually doing it or hearing the exchanges. So just tune the dial and listen to a few before you start operating. And then you'll pick up the rhythm and you'll pick up the exchange. And before you know it, you'll have it down. And again, using an electronic logging program will be a huge help. Because it generally will have that specific information you need to exchange right there on the screen for you for reference. So you can look at it and just read it right off the screen in that order. It's a great way to do it. In the meantime, do we have any other questions about the contest rules, the exchange, or anything else regarding November Sweeps? Okay, not hearing any, but if you do happen to think of some, we'll check back with you in just a bit when we open it up for general questions and things like that. So what we're going to do next is open it up to the group here and see if anyone has any news, announcements, or anything specific that you wanted to get in and share with the group this evening.
WB1ARU, do you have any copy on me?
Sure do, Ann. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm using my mini here, laptop, tablet, whatever you want to call it, while I'm in the kitchen. I just wanted to mention that for those of you who are YLRL members, either recent or long time, dues become due the 1st of January, due all the way through the month of January. So please remember that when you're setting up your end-of-year payments and so forth. $15 to K4SAF, well, to YLRL, mailed to K4SAF. So just wanted to put in that plug. I'm now cleaning up the dishes from roasting a whole lot of butternut squash and cleaning them out. And, somewhat preparation for next week and also to go in the freezer. So that's my commercial. Back to the net, WB1ARU.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Ann. And yeah, you're coming in just fine. And we'll check back in with you in just about 15 minutes for the HFnet and get a frequency if the bands are so kind as to cooperate this evening. Anybody else have something for the group? Any updates, news, ham radio related or not? Whatever you'd like to share with the gals here, please go ahead and call now, AC4YL.
Victor Alpha 3, Whiskey Hotel Uniform, Carol, a fairly new ham from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Just curious as to what program do you YLs use to learn Morse code? I'm planning to learn and get my CW license. Just struggling with it a little bit, da, dit, and all that. What programs do you use to learn CW? Over.
Yeah, that's an excellent question, Carol. Let's open it up to the group and see who has a suggestion for Carol. And gals, I would also include if there are any mobile programs that you can put on your phone, iPhone or Android phone, if you have any recommendations there too, in addition to any for the computer, please share that with us as well. Okay, not hearing anyone yet, so I know that some folks have actually participated in a full program that will help you learn Morse code, and that's CW Academy through CW Ops. I know several YLs here with us have used that or are in the process of using it. You know, Ann, KC9YL, has gone through, I think, a couple of sessions already with it. Ruth, KM4LAO, has also used CW Ops to learn that. But there are other methods as well, and several groups of folks that will get together and do things. Some local ham clubs offer a special interest group specifically for CW. And we have a really awesome CW operator, and ham. I'm fortunate to have him in the North Fulton Amateur Radio League, and Jim, W4QO, and he has done several in the past special interest groups on learning Morse code in CW. And he's got an excellent method that works quite well, Carol, and you can read all about it on w4qo.blogspot.com. And he'll go through and it'll go through and give you step by step the method that he recommends. And he picked up his method from the booklet Learning the Radio Telegraph Code from the ARRL, and it went through and recommended that you learn the letters in a certain order and words that incorporate those letters. And so once you get down group 1, which is Estonia, E-S-T-O-N-I-A. And there are numerous words that use those specific letters, like neat, toast, stint, ant. So you really work hard and learn those letters first. And then the next grouping is what we call Dr. Mulch. And you use those letters in addition to the first grouping of letters, and words that contain letters from both of those groups to get those down. Let me pause for a reset. So again, the website with that order and suggestion on a program that you can use is w4qo.blogspot.com. And I just put that in the Echo Link chat. And it's a step-by-step on how to learn CW and the order in which to do it. And then there's some recommended programs. And the recommended program, one of them is CW Player. And I think there's a link in here where you can download it. And it will allow you to put specific letters in. And there's several settings that you can do as well that he recommends that you set to help you learn it. Because if you learn it too slowly, then you have a hard time ramping up your speed. So you want to try at a minimum of 5 words per minute to get going. You don't want to go any slower than that. So check it out. He recommends if you spend about 30 minutes twice a day, you will learn it very, very quickly, at least at the 5 word per minute speed. So very cool. Check it out, Carol. Hopefully that helps. And again, the name of the program you can download is CW Player. And I think I just found the link for that. I will put it in the chat as well. Anybody else have any recommendations for Carol? Please come on in and tell us about them. AC4YL. Okay, and real quick too, Carol, there are some practice files that you can incorporate into CW Player for the recommended lessons that Jim W4QO has put out. And again, he gives you very specific directions on how to use this program and what to set the settings at, and how to set the spacing between the characters so that it's more real for you. And it won't be such a hard transition to go from learning it to actually utilizing what you've learned on the radio at the realistic speeds that they operate at. So the CW Player link is there, as well as the practice files that you can download and go through those in order. And again, his site will give you a specific order in which to do things in the settings to put that at. He recommends in CW Player to set the speed at 18 words per minute, but to set the spacing between the characters to 6 and between the words to times 3. So check it out, and hopefully that will help you. It's a lot of fun to play with CW Player for anybody, just to have some fun with Morse code. Check it out, and feel free to download the practice files for fun. Any other comments on the CW question? And if not, we'll move on. Okay, nothing else there, so let's go on and open it back up to the group. Does anybody else have any news or updates or anything that you want to share with the group this evening, or questions like Carol had?
K2EZ.
Please, go ahead, Andrea.
I put it there in the chat, but in the December QST, in the field day results, on page 80, Nisi's got her picture in there. With one of the other operators, which I presume is at her field day site, and those of you on here regularly may recall her talking about, well, getting all excited about that setup and what a great time they had. So it's great to see she got her picture in QST, and that's all I had to say. It's K2EZ.
All right, very cool, Andrea. So thank you very much for sharing that. I know Nisi's got a sore throat, so I don't know how much she feels like chatting vocally this evening, so we'll give her a break. Maybe, Nisi, if you feel better in a couple weeks, you can fill us in a little more on the details of that. And I'll have to check out the digital format, because for some reason, even after calling, I can't seem to get the physical magazine mailed to me. They say they mail it and I never get it, and they say they're not coming back to them. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I can't seem to get the physical magazine in my hand ever. even though they say I'm signed up for it, my address is correct and all that good stuff. Anyway, I'll have to check out the digital version for sure and take a look. So thanks, Andrea, for putting the plug in and letting us know about that. Okay, anything else for anyone here? Please go ahead and call now, AC4YL with the group. Okay, not hearing anyone, just catching up a little bit on the chat here, and it looks like Michelle has a recommendation of a program called Morse Toad, and I think that is the website for that, where you can download it. Okay, sorry about the delay there. I think the website I went to actually had some audio in the background, and I couldn't tell where it was coming from until I got off the web page. Sorry about that, guys. Boy, it's gonna be one of those evenings, I think. All right, so Michelle put a link for recommendation there, and then let's see, Sky. Looks like she recommended Ham Whisper, so very cool. So we got some more comments there in the chat in addition to what we discussed here. So very good. Okay. Anybody else for anything for the group? And if not, we'll check in with Ann on the HFnet.
I'm working on a 40-meter frequency right now. I'm sitting in front of the rig. 20 meters is dead. I'll get back to you in a couple minutes.
Okay, very good, Ann. Thank you very much. We'll keep our eye out on the chat there for a frequency on 40 meters. So, ladies, if you have the ability to get on 40 meters, that's probably going to be the best bet this evening, so cool. All right, we'll keep an eye out for that frequency. Okay, so we've got a lot going on coming up. It's holiday season, and everybody's getting ready for the rundown, Thanksgiving and Christmas and then New Year's, so a lot of family time and other things like that. So I thought it might be fun this evening if we kind of incorporated a little bit of that in with our amateur radio stuff. So what I thought would be kind of cool is if there is something in your shack, in your radio shack or radio area that you have that you can't live without, and that you're thankful that you have it, whether it's a tool or your actual radio, or if you have a foot switch and you like to contest and you can't really do contesting that well without a foot switch, you know, anything kind of like that that you're glad you have in your shack, or if it's a person that you're thankful for that maybe introduced you to ham radio, or is your mentor, or Elmer or Elmira, or if you're thankful for your ham club, anything that is amateur radio related, just one thing, and if you just got to say two, then please go ahead and share that with us. Encourage you to tell us about it. I'm not going to put anybody on the spot. We'll just open it up to the group. And the frequency for 40 meters Ann has given is 7.208. So if you would like to hop over to 40 and see if you can check in with Ann over there, you're more than welcome to do so. And we'll just continue here for about another 30 minutes. So who would like to tell us what they're thankful for, either in their shack or their ham buddy or their club? Who would like to go first? AC4YL.
W5MQC.
Good evening, Michelle. Please go ahead.
Well, I would like to thank you and Melanie for this net. It has definitely helped me grow in the last year, and I certainly do appreciate it. I also am very thankful for the members of my club. Without them, of course, I wouldn't even be here today. So I just wanted to say I'm very grateful for everybody and all of their help. Back to you, Catherine, W5MQC.
Well, thanks, Michelle. Appreciate it. And thanks so much for jumping in and sharing those couple of things with the group here. We appreciate it. Okay, who would like to go next and tell us something that you're thankful for in the ham radio realm that you operate in? Well, I'm not hearing anyone, so I'm not sure if I've put everybody to sleep or everybody's having connection issues or whatnot. So I'll go next. One thing that I'm grateful for is EchoLink, actually, and the ALARA group for letting us use this conference. And because of the ability to use EchoLink on your phone and on a computer, and all you need is internet access, been able to still continue this net on a regular basis, even when traveling to HamFest, like when Melanie and I went down to Orlando, and when we went to Huntsville, and even when we went together down to Florida on vacation. We were able to continue to have a consistency with the net, and it's great to be able to catch up with you gals and you know, hear you and help you and learn from you as well. Certainly enjoy this net very much, and thank all of you for coming in here whenever you can make it, and your contribution to the content of the net is very much appreciated. Okay, who would like to go next? AC4YL.
KE8HOP here. I actually have the same thing that I'm thankful for, the EchoLink, because right now I do not have a radio. Well, one that will reach that far anyway. I just have a HT, and hopefully I'll get one this weekend maybe at the Fort Wayne Ham Fest that I'm going to tomorrow. But EchoLink has been able to let me get on and talk sometimes and listen in, and just kind of getting used to everything and enjoying the ham world.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you very much, and we've got you in the log here too. We appreciate it, and it's great. Yeah, EchoLink really is helpful, especially when you find yourself in between stations and you have no way to put up your antenna, or something took it down, or you had to take it down for some reason or whatnot. You can at least still stay connected. So awesome. Thanks so much. KE8HOP, appreciate it, and we've got you in the log. Okay, who else would like to share what you're thankful for? I think Melanie put in the comment she doesn't have a mic right now, but just thankful for all the really cool people that we get to meet at HamFest. And I know Melanie and I've talked about that on our way back up to our side of town after leaving, places like Orlando and Huntsville, and get to meet all kinds of really cool hams, OMs and YLs alike, and have some great conversations with them. That's always a lot of fun. And we get to meet more at the forums as well, because one of the things we do as time permits at the end of the forum is, we ask the folks that are attending, how they got introduced to amateur radio and aspects of it that they enjoy. And it's fun to hear all their cool stories about how they got into ham radio and the things that they like to do. So thanks, Melanie, for sharing that. I know you having microphone issues. Okay, who else would like to share with us something in amateur radio that you're thankful for? Please go ahead, Lauren. Well, thank you very much, Lauren, and we're certainly thankful to you for getting the YouTube piece of it set up and educating me on how to kind of get a recording together and learn how to do that. So that was something new for me that you were able to pass on, and so that's awesome. So thank you, Lauren, and thanks for coming in. We're glad to have you with us and hope things are going well for you. Okay, who else would like to jump in and share something that they're thankful for? Okay, just seeing comment in here from Anne, who's having an issue with her mic as well, but she commented in the EchoLink chat that she's thankful for her husband, who wasn't quite as interested in radio as she was, but yet he still helped her study and went ahead and took the test as well, and helped put in a homebrew dipole. So cool. Thanks, Anne, for commenting on that. We appreciate that, and thanks for sharing that with the group. Okay, who else has something that, or someone that they're thankful for that helps them in amateur radio? Okay, not hearing anyone, so thanks, ladies, for participating in that. And as far as next week goes, of course, next Thursday is Thanksgiving Day here in the United States. And so what we're going to do is we're not really going to have an official net next week. But if you'd like to come in and say hello to each other, you're more than welcome to come in on the ALARA Conference and you know, have a open session and chat with each other if you like. But we will not have an official net next week, so that you gals can catch up with your families there, hopefully. And again, if you have a few minutes and you want to come in at 8 o'clock Eastern, 0100 UTC, please feel free to pop in and see if any of the gals are on and say hello. And you can stay as long as you like and chat. But I encourage you to take that time to spend with your family there, or if you want to check in here and say hello, and you're more than welcome to do that also. Okay, does anybody have anything for the group? Questions or a topic you'd like to discuss this evening? Anything that you would like to talk about or ask? Please call now, AC4YL.
WB1ARU.
Oh, please go ahead, Ann.
Well, I hope I'm not confusing anybody by having Tony display as my name tonight, but that's all right. On the regular, on the PC, it's under my call, and on this one, it's under his. But anyway, whatever. I just wanted to report that I made a contact with a new to me YL and a fairly new ham. Call sign Whiskey Delta 2 Golf Uniform Tango in New York, east of the city. And conditions were very good for about 5 minutes, and then they tanked. So still listening on 40, but just wanted to say it was great to make a new contact, and also wanted to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I'm thankful for my OM, who's a pretty handy guy to have around. 33, and still listening, WB1ARU.
Thank you very much, Ann. Appreciate that. And that's cool. It's nice to make new contacts. I'm glad you gals were at least able to chat for a few minutes before you couldn't hear each other anymore. So very good. Anybody else have anything for the group?
Victor Alpha 3, Whiskey Hotel Uniform. Just a question for everybody in the group here tonight. It's been really interesting listening to the different aspects and topics on here. I really enjoy my Thursday nights on this net. I was just wondering if anybody has any ideas of or things that they'd like to share with ICOM just releasing the new 7610 yesterday. Has anybody got any ideas about that radio? Any ICOM users in the group? Over.
Well, that's a great question, Carol. So, yeah, let's open it up to the group. 7610 just came out. Anybody chomping at the bit to get one? Big ICOM fans here. Anything you want to say about that? Well, I'm not hearing anyone coming back, but the ICOM 7610 just coming out. It's got an output power of 100 watts and 25 watts on AM, and will receive on 0.030 to 60 megahertz with direct sampling. So it's got an independent dual receiver, large color touchscreen, 7-inch. Which allows you to change various functions and settings and such, as well as a dual spectrum scope. So that's really, really cool. So it's a really neat radio. It's got a lot of cool features, and I will post a link, if somebody hasn't already beat me to it, in the chat here for more information on that radio. I've never personally owned an ICOM, but I do know that they're really good radios. I've known several folks in our ham club that enjoy their ICOM very much. So they are pretty darn good radios and very reliable. So again, I encourage you, if you aren't familiar with ICOM and you've got a ham radio store near you, or stop by their booth at any major ham fest, check them out and play with them and ask all your questions. So thanks, Carol. Good question. And again, the link is in the chat for anybody that wants to check out the new ICOM 7610 all-mode transceiver. It's cool. Okay, we'll open it back up to the group. Anybody else have any questions or any comments or anything that you'd like to share this evening? Okay, not hearing anyone, and that's all I had for this evening, so we'll go ahead and close out the net a little bit early tonight. But I want to thank everybody for being here, and again, if you ever have any suggestions for topics for the net, or if you are interested in leading any discussion on any particular topics, such as operating digital modes, VHF, UHF, operation or contesting, antennas, portable operations, contesting, any topic that you would like to lead about a 20-minute to 30-minute discussion on a net one evening, and you're interested in doing that, we'd love to hear you. And I'm sure that the gals could really benefit from the information that you have. And you don't have to be an expert to do it, but if you want to talk about some of your experiences in any of those various topics, anything that you might feel would help the group, we'd love to let you do that. Just send me an email, or Melanie an email, ac4yl at arrl.net, or Melanie, ag4yl at arrl.net, and let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Let's go ahead and see if we have any YLs who have joined us that have not checked in and would like to do so. Please call now. Well, I see Ann, KC9YL, just popped in. So good evening, Ann. Hope you're doing well. And is there anything that you want to say to the group, or just want to say hi or officially check in? We're just about to close out the net, but we'd certainly love to give you a chance if there's anything that you'd like to tell the group or ask. Please go ahead, KC9YL, AC4YL with the group.
Thanks for letting me stop in, Catherine. Just wanted to say hi. I just got done practicing with my friend. We were meeting on Skype tonight, and we were practicing Morse code, sending 5-letter words back and forth. So we haven't graduated to that yet, so this was our first try at 5-letter words. So it was fun. It still is fun. It still is quite challenging. So, but we just want to keep on the air at least once a week. We try to get together twice a week on Skype, and we think that it's doing some good. So hopefully that actually is the case. So looking forward to maybe some of the ARRL sweepstakes this weekend, and getting ready for the holidays, and looking forward to a couple of days off. So back to net. This is KC9YL.
Well, awesome, Ann. Well, we're glad you're able to to pop in and say hello. And so this evening we just covered, we talked about the November Suites coming up this weekend, and Melanie and Dawn and Andrea did a great demo of doing some exchanges for that contest over Echolink, so we could all follow along and kind of get an idea of how that worked. And then we just talked about things related to amateur radio that we're thankful for, whether it be a mentor, Elmira, or our local ham club, or an aspect of amateur radio that we've benefited from, and that sort of thing. So we talked about that this evening as well. So glad you're able to come in and say hello, and we had it open for any questions or comments. So if anybody has anything else for the net, please call now, AC4YL.
Victor Alpha 3, Whiskey Hotel Uniform. Being a Canadian of British descent, I would like to wish everybody in the United States of America a very happy Thanksgiving on Thursday. We have already celebrated Thanksgiving here in Canada, so I hope everybody has a lovely time and enjoys the Thanksgiving holiday this week. Thank you. Over.
Awesome, Carol. Well, thank you very much. And yeah, I think y'all's Thanksgiving is beginning of October, I believe. So very good. Well, thank you very much, Carol, and it's a joy having you with us. We love having our Canadian friends when they can come in, and we really appreciate having you on the net here with us as well, Carol. Okay, anything else for the group? Alright, well, very good, ladies. Please don't forget to visit and comment and post on our WildOpNet Facebook group. And we'd like to thank Lauren, KC9ZHV, for live streaming and recording this set and making it available on YouTube. And we'd like to thank ALARA for the use of this Echolink conference node, North Fulton Amateur Radio League for their Do Drop In chat room, and all who are linked and listening for your ongoing support of this net. This is Catherine, AC4YL. I'll go ahead and close out the WildOpNet for this evening, and we'll return the ALARA Conference back to normal use. 33 ladies, take care, and again, feel free to pop in next week and chat, even though we won't have an official net. Take care, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. 33 from AC4YL.